Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. We are beginning in the press conference for the Jamaican national team for the opening match for the 18 World Cup 2023. Welcome to the Jamaican head coach, Heimier Halgrimsson, and the player, Leon Bailey. We officially open of questions, so you can raise your hand and we can help with a question.
Coach, so Trinidad and Tobago weren't originally intended to be in our group. We played 2 practice games against them. I'm not sure how much we could have learned because of much different makeup of the teams. But since then, they've played against Guatemala and beat them 1-0. They played against Haiti and it was 0-0. And they played their first game in the Gold Cup and won 3-0. What are your initial thoughts on Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, these 2 friendlies were kind of special in a way that it was domestic players, mostly domestic players and young players. From not only us, I think from them as well. But it meant a lot. For me, it was maybe the what I learned from these matches was the passion for the win instead of using it as a friendly to test players, to give chances, etc. The kind of the will to win the match was more than to use it as some preparation match. I think I learned from that match that these are more passion games than maybe others, especially in a friendly. But I think you should ask Leon about this. He knows more about these derbies than me. If you want to add to that one.
I can't add much to it because I only started really representing the national team in 2019 and my first debut was in the Gold Cup. So I barely played any youth football with the national team. Just had one international friendly against in the under 23s and I forget who that was against. Yeah.
But we had okay, man. But we had a really good meeting yesterday. Meron Gordon had a meeting about Trinidad, was introducing them and told us the history behind the rivalry of these 2 nations. So it was a good meeting in a sense for us that kind of don't know the passion within these two islands and the rivalry between them. So we got some history lessons, and then on top of that, the information about their players, etc. So it was a really a good meeting, especially for us that come from abroad, don't know the rivalry.
I guess this is a question for both of you. What are some of the positives you saw from the last game, and how can you implement those tomorrow?
If I can start, I think we are growing as a unit, as a team, and the understanding between the players and about the tactics, etc., is always increasing as we play more games together. I think we will grow as a team. As well, positives was tactical positives was how we moved in defense. It was more solid than, for example, we learned a lot from the Mexico match. They opened us at times, so we kind of prevented that against US. We had some good build-up, some good chances and transition. So it was a lot of tactical positives. We also saw some negatives that we have been working on, talking together about, and I like the involvement in the squad now. We have a lot more. We have a lot more players that will have a say when we are discussing things, and that's a sign of that the group is now understanding better and better what we are trying to achieve.
Yeah, so as the coach said, we're growing each time we come represent the national team. Obviously, sometimes there's a lot of new people adding into the group, but the system stays the same, and just everybody over time, I think, will automatically get exactly what we need to do when we get on a pitch. But I think so far it's been great. The team is gelling nicely. We have a lot of experienced players, and I think that's also helping a lot in terms of learning faster and understanding the system as fast as possible, because obviously it's a tournament and we need to get as much information as we can to make sure that when we're on the pitch, we know exactly how to move and how to operate as a group. But as I said, the camaraderie is great in the team. Everybody is gelling nicely. Everybody's helping each other, and it's just, it's always a nice fun to be with the squad.
Coach Robert Williams from IRFM in Jamaica. Coach, you mentioned that history lesson from Miron Gardner yesterday, and I'm sure he would have told you about how passionate the Trinidadians are when they play against Jamaica, and how they always come with their A game, if not against anybody else, against Jamaica. How has this affected you now in terms of how you're planning for this game tomorrow? And part two of the question, how pleased are you? Leon just mentioned it a while ago about the camaraderie in the team. From where I am submerged with the team, it looks to be a synchronized situation. Everybody looks like they're working for each other. How pleased are you with that kind of camaraderie?
Now, I don't have a clue how it was in the past, so I cannot compare this to nothing, but I can just compare it to my former clubs and national teams I was coaching. And I think it's a bunch of crazy guys. They enjoy life a lot, and they are making fun of each other constantly, pulling each other legs, and that is just a sign of a healthy group, I would say. And of course, in the end, it's all about how the team works together, and the more friends and the more unity you have within the squad, the better you will perform on the pitch. In the end, it's all about that, how you perform on the pitch. And when there's a good communication, when there's a good vibe within the squad, you will see that on the pitch as well. Preparing against Trinidad was the first part of the question. And it's been kind of trying to switch the mindset to what we will expect in the match. We will not get anything for free. We will face hard tackles, a lot of balls to fight for, the first balls and second balls. So we've just been talking about that. The guys that have played these matches in the past have been really helpful in talking about how they have been and sharing their experience. So really good to have experienced guys in the groups, guys like Taxi, Nana, and more players have been sharing, how these games have been in the past. And we played these two friendlies. We didn't score against them. They have now played matches leading up to this. They haven't conceded goals. So we know it's going to be hard to break them down. So one of the key things is to be patient, is to be continue to knock on the door as long as we need without getting over ambitious in what we are doing. So it's just switching on a correct mindset when we play a game like this.
Leon, this is a question for Leon. So you have your club teammate Whisper with you for the first time. How do you find him fitting in, and how important you think this overall experience is for his future as a footballer?
Well, first of all, it's always nice to, have somebody you see grew up from they were very, very small. I was one of the first person who actually brought Whisper into Phoenix. Well, we saw him out by, no, not Trelawney, out by Port Royal. And to see him become the man he is now, it's nice to see, and you don't really see this a lot. And I think you just have to really, be happy about the situation and just enjoy it. But I think the most important thing is that he's enjoying. But it's great to have him there. It's great to actually just be a, leader for him, an example, and show him the way, because obviously he's very talented. Everybody, his name is out there now. There's going to be a lot of pressure on his shoulder. But I think so far it's been good. He's been gelling in with the team very well. Still has a lot of learning to do, but he's gonna get there with the right support, the right people behind him, and with the national team, it's been great. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I think so far it's been learning and trying to, get the best of what he can out of this experience.
Coach, this one's for you. So obviously in a tournament, you're playing a game almost every 3 days. How confident are you in the depth of your squad? Should you need to rotate at some point?
No, I'm really happy with the squad, both the depth and the quality as well. So yeah, at the moment, everyone is fit and ready to play, and everybody wants to play. So it's a good situation for a coach to have, to be able to pick from all the players. But like you said, it's hopefully a long tournament for us, so we need the depth. But the squad, we have a lot of equal players, so we have no problems rotating. But a second game is always really important. Saying so, a win for Trinidad would get them through. So we know what we are facing. We need to get good results against them. So we're only thinking about this match now. So we are not thinking far ahead. We just want to go out here and have a good performance, and hopefully a win tomorrow. That's the only thing we are thinking about at this stage of the tournament.
Okay, we're beginning to open the virtual conference. So, Tarion Davis, you can make your question.
Yes, good day, Coach. How are you doing, sir?
Good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I'm good. Chippy, what's going on? Mr. Billy, how are you doing?
Wagwan, since you know me as Chippy.
Jigal from Sports Down Middle. Coach, this is for you. What are the players that are doing wrong? And how can they get it right for tomorrow? Meaning that 2 games that we're leading, and then in the last minute we conceded goals. So I want to know what are the players that are doing wrong, and what can they do to get it right tomorrow. If we're leading, I don't want them come back and equalize.
Well, when you concede a goal, normally it's something you look out on later and say, okay, we could have prevented this and prevented that. But that is also when we score goals, the opponents will say the same. So I wouldn't say we did anything wrong. It was a bounce of a player just into a dangerous zone, and they used it. So maybe in this game, it was just the body position. So yeah, it's just minor things. The most important in a game like this, in a tournament like this, is to keep focus for 90 minutes. Keep focus the 90 minutes, whatever the score is. You saw yesterday, Panama outplaying Costa Rica, but still Costa Rica scored in the end and could have equalized, even though they were not better on the day. So it's about keeping focus and keeping the energy level. So, no, in a sense, US, if I'm honest, most of our players are coming from 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some even 4 weeks of holidays. Meanwhile, the US team is in mid-season. So I always knew that the last minute they would probably have more energy than us, and it showed in the game. But I'm not worried about that, because once we play more games, that will change in 1 game or 2 games. That they're up to the same level they were 2 weeks ago. So I'm not worried about that. But I think that's the biggest thing that we need to emphasize on with the players, is to keep focus for 90 minutes.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
What I think people need to understand is we're still a team that's trying to build. There's a lot of new players in the team. We have a system that not a lot of persons are used to yet. And it takes time to build a team if you really want to be successful. And everything doesn't come overnight. It takes time. And we as Jamaican always think that because you're talented, that means you have to win games or you have to play the best of your ability. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of understanding. And sometimes we just need time to build as a group. As you can see, we have great players in the national team as right now. We have a great coach. So We just need to build, and we need people to believe in the progress and the process, and just be together as one, because that's what we need. And you can see as we go forward, the team is only getting better and stronger, and it's only going to get even better. And I think that's what we all need to understand sometimes. We need time to build as a group, and that's what any good team has to do. Any good team at all has to take time to build to be successful.
Okay, Jay Taylor, you can make your question. Andre Shido, you can make your question.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon, Leon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Can it be the sound?
Yes, my
What's
mic
the
was muted.
status?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here. So, what's the status of Ethan Pinnock's return to the team right now, Coach?
well, we are in regular contact with Ethan, and I'm happy to say the situation is getting better. So we are hopeful at one point he will join us. But of course, family is first. But we take it day by day, and hopefully we at least wish that he will find and the family will find a time for him to come. But he's looking better, thank God, and we'll go on from this. I cannot say when and if, but we hope.
Jay Taylor, you can make your question.
Okay, yeah, thank you. My mic was muted. Good afternoon, Coach. In the first game, I have a two-part question, one for you, one for Leon. In the first game, you in the press conference, you said that the United States team was a team basically in mid-season with a lot of the MLS players. We saw where they made substitutions, where they basically changed the game. But on your end, your substitutions were, I would say, would you say was a little bit all over the place, wasn't as precise in the game? Did you learn anything there? And the next question for Leon Bailey, I know that you might have seen that he was trending after the game as the fans were, the same things keep coming back up, Leon, where the fans are concerned that whenever you play for the national team, you don't simplify the game, you tend to over dribble. As there were moments in the game where you had chances to make simple passes and you took on players. What's your take on that?
I'll start.
You start?
I'll start with this. Two shots we need to save. Yeah. So first of all, the first two substitutions were kind of forced. So we had only one slot left, and it's always tricky when you know you have some tired legs on the pitch. It's always difficult to take that too early. If we would have lost a player with a cramp in the end, the third substitution was always going to be tricky for us. We have some good players on the pitch. Do we take a double or triple substitution? We waited with that because we didn't want to change a player and then it was 7 minutes extra time. So we didn't want to change a player if we had someone going out with a cramp and we didn't want to play one man down. So that was kind of, all the substitution was kind of forced in one way or another. So it's the only way I can explain the substitution. So injury, and the second one was also related to fatigue and injury, and then we only had one slot left.
I would like you to repeat the question because I want to make sure that I'm answering your question correctly.
Yes. So as in the game, we saw you had the opportunity to make the pass to Mikel Antonio going into the halftime break, and you over dribbled where it was three players, and a lot of the fans, I'm coming from the fans' perspective, are saying that when you play for the national team, unlike your club team, you don't simplify the game by making the simple pass. You tend to over dribble or do a little bit too much. Is that like the pressure from the national team, or you just play different at the club level and or at the national level?
No, first of all, I have to say, as I said before, we are still building. This is a team that's still building. A lot of people are new into the team most of the times, and we still have to get that connection with each other. And sometimes you can lack that a bit, and sometimes it only takes time to get that together. And I think that's what we need, a little bit more time to be able to, connect the dots better. But in terms of me, everybody know who Liam Bailey is. Do you know how much pressure I'm always under when I'm representing the national team? But that's not no excuse for me, because I've been in the game for too long now. I've been a professional for 8 years. I'm used to pressure. Pressure has nothing to do with the way I play. If you watch how I play, you will see that I always try to do my best. I always work hard. And no matter what, I'll always give my 110% for my nation. And that will never stop. If that means I didn't perform well, then so be it. But when I walk off the pitch, I want to know I gave my 110. And I did that against US. And nobody's going to ever take that away from me. Once my family is good, the team is good, we're all good, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to give my 100% for the team. I'm always going to be there for my teammates. And so they're always there for me as well. And that's what really matters. At the end of the day, football is a sport that you win some, you lose some, you make mistakes, and you go again. That's just life and football.
Yoani Brady, you can make your question.
Hi, good day, coaching team. You guys hearing me? Good day, coach. Good day, Leon. I really wanted to ask or speak to Leon. So Leon, we saw where the person before asked a question that I was gonna get to, but I'm gonna continue to ask my question along those lines. You mentioned the pressure that you're under, and one must assume that you're under a lot of pressure because a lot of people consider you to be, the talisman of the team. But rightly or wrongly, that's the general narrative or consideration. You said that you're under a lot of pressure. How do you personally deal with that pressure? When does that pressure mount on you the most? And what can you say to Jamaicans regarding patience with you, and when eventually we'll see your best?
Don't get me wrong. I did not say I'm under pressure. I did not say that. Don't get me wrong. I said with my name comes with a lot of pressure. I did not say I'm under pressure. I'm not under pressure. Every time I go on that pitch, I always make sure that my head is clear and I go out there to play the game of football that I know to play. I'm a professional player, been in the game for 8 years, so I know how to prepare for a game. I know how to handle pressure, and I've been doing so quite well so far. So I did not say I'm under pressure. What I can say to my Jamaican people is that we're still a team that's building, and sometimes you have to understand and not just be naive and think about what's happening now. Think about what's going to happen in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, what Jamaica team is going to look like. Not just what's happening now. Not just how a guy dribble and lose the ball and he didn't make that pass. No. Think about what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years from now when this actual team come together the right way and start playing the football, and then everybody can start coming and enjoying the game. That's what we want, and that's what we're working towards. So we just need the people to stop being naive and just think about what lays ahead in front of us. We're focused on building a stronger and better team than we had before and make it to our next World Cup. That's all of our focus on winning this Gold Cup.
And if I can take over, a team is not one and a team. Team is a team. We win as one and we lose as one. So it's never about one guy's performance or one player's performance. And I hope slowly and steadily you will see that we will win as a team and we will then lose as a team whenever we do that.
Owen Blake, you can make your question.
For Edie Blake,
Dre Anywhere the Sports. I have a question for the coach and a question for Leon and just a comment. Leon, hold your head up. Some know you as Chippy. You're a big man now. You're Leon Bailey Baller and you're part of the team. Yeah, man. The question I have for Leon, coming from the fans and those of us who traveled thousands of miles to be here in the Chicago Stadium, on the field, did they loud chanting and cheering from those brave 600 or so Jamaicans who were there? Did you feel it on the pitch, and did it motivate the team? The fans who were there and those who are following the team, that's what we would like to know.
Most definitely. We felt it on the pitch, and that's what we want every game that we play. That's what we're working towards. And obviously, at the end of the games, always getting results to make you guys proud as well. But I want to say we're all grateful for the support, and we'll always continue to do our best to ensure that we can bring back the Jamaica national team football to when I was a kid. I know I used to go to the national stadium and see how packed the stadium was. That's the level we want it to be back at. And I can tell you, we felt it on the pitch and everybody was buzzing out there. Fortunately, I didn't take my opportunity, but at the end of the day, we're all still grateful for the support, and I'm always going to be grateful.
Okay, the last question is to Rashid Pashman.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon, Leon. Coach, after the game on Saturday, you said US was probably the strongest team in the tournament, but they turned up with numerous lesser experienced players. Do you think that perhaps, based on that, you probably showed them a little too much respect throughout the game? Or was it the other way? I mean, Leon can answer this as well. And the other question I have is, you've played Trinidad twice already this year. Do those two games affect how you prepare for them tomorrow, or do you expect a different beast in them? And what do you expect from them in a tactical sense?
Regarding US, even though they did not play their European players or the players, a lot of the players that went to the World Cup, it's still a good team. It's still ranked the highest in CONCACAF. So we always show every team all the respect they deserve, and we will do the same against Trinidad tomorrow. We will show them all the respect they deserve. So no, you never show a team too much respect. If you do that, you prepare your team well. If you respect the opponent, you prepare your team even better than if you don't show anyone respect, then you don't prepare right. So you can never show anyone too much respect. TNT, the Trinidad games we played in Jamaica, it was a lot of long balls. It was a lot of fight everywhere on the pitch. It was not played much on the ground that matches. So we kind of played the same style in that games. Not pretty to watch. So hopefully we can do better when we have the ball. We can hopefully create more when we have the ball than we did in Jamaica. You take that? You want to answer that more?
No.
In depth?
Okay, thank you so much for the time. We have already finished the press conference, and good luck tomorrow in the
Thank you.
the game.
Thank you.